Hello again.
Hello.
Is it working? Oh, no. Come here, video. It's thinking.
I've not used Skype in so long.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used it a lot when I had a long-distance relationship with my current man. But since then, and it wasn't very reliable then.
Yeah. Well, it's either this or I buy a plane ticket.
Yeah.
I don't have the money for that. I wish I did. Yeah. Well, I don't know why. I have video of you, and I get the little spinny wheel.
Yeah.
From mine. Well, we can just hope that it works. Is this weird for you?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Okay. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me, especially as a mom. Oh.
Yeah, I might have to jump up quickly if he starts coughing.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Go right ahead. So just to keep everything kind of documented like this, it is okay that I record audio and video of our discussion?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes, no problem.
Thank you. And so let's see. So did I sent you the questions ahead of time, right?
You did, yeah. So I wrote down a few notes because I've got baby brain at the moment.
I understand. So I did when I've done this before, it takes about an hour. And they're all important questions to me, but if there are any that you don't want to discuss or ones that are on here that you'd like to talk about instead, that's totally fine with me too. Do you have any questions for me before we jump in?
No, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
It all seemed pretty self-explanatory in your emails.
Nothing too weird.
Yeah.
So tell me about how you became a fat fashion blogger.
It was probably Tumblr. Discovering Tumblr and getting addicted, like most people do when they first discover Tumblr. And then coming across fashion Tumblrs, fat fashion Tumblrs, and basically being amazed that there was fat people putting pictures of themselves on the internet in nice clothes.
Yeah.
And where did they get these clothes, and how did I get these clothes?
Yeah.
That was probably the start of it. And then finding out there was actually people, not just in America, but in the UK, that were doing this, and why can't I do this?
Yeah.
So that's probably how it all started, basically. Coming across, I don't know if you'll know these ones because it's the British one, but Mrs. Beebe. She organised last year and the year before Plus North, a fashion orientated day of plus size companies and bloggers, and basically anyone could have come. And brands showed off their current seasons, and not just big brands, but start-up brands as well. And have a fashion show that you could take part in if you organised to do it beforehand. They sent out emails to everybody who was going. And basically just getting to meet up with all the people that you talked on Twitter and things that maybe live 100 miles away, but will all come together for this one event. And she and another girl, Tony, organised the first one of those. And there's another girl who organised, before they organised that one, they actually went to one in London that was organised by a blogger called Chatter Monkey. I think she's changed her name recently to Monkey See, Monkey Do. And she put on the first UK fashion thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And it wasn't as big of a deal as the one here, because they put a year's worth of effort into it, and obviously saw what they'd done and says, well, we could do this and this and this. But I mean, the Plus London one, I think last year was their third year. Plus North. Last year was their second year, and they're organising another one for this year. So, I mean, it's all ongoing things, and they've inspired other people to do things in other areas as well, which is really good.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that kind of flows into the second question. Who are your favorite plus-size role models or bloggers?
I would say role models wise, would definitely be Tess Munster. Basically found her when she was just starting. So I actually got to like interact with her quite a lot.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she's just awesome, really. I mean, she's had a hard time, obviously, but she is like the plus model that is known.
Yeah.
Well, known in like the normal circles of people, not the fashion industry of people, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, there was a thing recently, I think it was Cosmopolitan done a thing, like the top Instagram plus models you should be following. And I went to it and I was like, well, I don't know any of these people, and I don't class them as plus size. They're plus size for models, but for your average person, I wouldn't say they were plus size. Because being 6 foot tall and a size 14 is completely different from a 5'2" person who's a size 14.
Exactly.
So I commented on that, basically saying what I thought. Well, that's awesome, these women are plus size models, but I wouldn't follow them, and I won't be following them because I don't see them as plus size in my world. I would rather follow someone like Tess Munster, who is plus size, and you can see she's plus size.
Yeah.
And there's also British blogger Betty Pamper, and she's like a beauty. She has like the Pamper box, which like she goes out and does like makeovers and things like retro hairs and retro makeup and stuff for weddings and things like that. And she's got a fashion blog, and she's really good as well. And Stephanie Zwicky, I think she's French. But her fashion things were one of the first ones I saw as well. Like, her pictures were going around Tumblr. When I first started, and I was just like, oh, now who is she? And like, had to find out who this person was, because she was just gorgeous and big.
Yeah.
And was wearing designer clothes, which you don't see.
No.
So follow her, and then the more like average person, I would say, who vlogs, who I am a fan of, is Nearsighted Owl, who's been going for years on different formats, I think. But she's very body positive, and she's basically all about that. And there's a British blogger, Just Me Leah, who I would say is the hardest working blogger I know, because she put out 4 blogs a day.
Oh my God.
And she's everything from fashion to basically what she's been doing that day to body positive things as well. But I'd say, yeah, they're like my top bloggers to follow for fashion and body positivity.
Awesome. So it sounds like you pick people to follow based on what they wear, but then also how they kind of approach what that means, like body positivity.
I mean, I'm drawn to them because of what they're wearing. But if they've got meaning behind it and have something to say, that's what keeps you going back, really.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Background noise.
See, those are my top bloggers.
There we go.
I mean, there's loads of other ones I follow, but those are like the main ones, I would say.
The ones you want to check in with every day.
Yeah.
See what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, and not all of them blog every day, but I would say once a week or something like that, they'll do something.
Pretty regularly.
Yeah.
So then I think you've kind of answered this, but so what does fat fashion mean to you?
It's basically a kick in the bum to what society thinks of fat people should look like. It's dressing how you want, but also not being held back by what is available.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would say when I was a teenager, there wasn't a lot available. I mean, you were lucky if you could get jeans to fit you, never mind a nice dress or like a nice top or something. It was all very mumsy for a teenager to wear, you know. There wasn't anything young and funky and cool. So I mean, it has gotten a lot better. But I'd say it's like, I mean, I would class myself as a rad fat, which is like basically doing what you want and not really caring what anyone else says or thinks. So I don't buy clothes that I think are flattering. I buy clothes because I like them.
I love that.
And because I want to wear them and not because they're fashionable.
Yeah.
And just not putting up with the crap from anyone or anywhere. I mean, I found recently I definitely don't put up with crap from strangers in the street anymore. Which when I was a teenager, I would have cried and run away if anyone said anything or I thought anyone had said anything about me. Where now I will challenge it. And just like dressing to be visible, not dressing to blend in, like wearing black and hiding. Basically trying to make yourself invisible was something I did when I was a teenager. Trying to dress like everybody else or trying to not be the odd one out, where now I kind of embrace it.
That's awesome.
And then there's all like Tess Monster started the whole if your beauty standards thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I think is amazing. And it's like, I mean, you just need to look at all the comments she gets from people. Like, she's inspired so many people.
Yeah.
With that. And I just think I wish I'd had people like her to follow when I was a teenager. But there was nobody. there was no, and because of the internet as well, we have access to all these people from all over the world, where you weren't likely to meet someone like that in the street or in your neighbourhood or anything when I was young. Yeah. But again, there's also the negative side of that there's also the fat hate people who are just as loud all over the world and on the internet. So you can experience both beside each other. But then it's how you choose to be and what you choose to take as how you're going to live your life. So it can be positive if you accept it.
That's actually, I want to come back to talking about what you said about how you choose clothes based on what you like and being visible and not necessarily what other people say you should wear. But the part about hate and about trolls, on your blog, it looks like you've been posting since 2011?
Yeah, probably.
On that site? Yeah. Okay. So in the past 3 years, have you experienced trolls?
I think I had a Tumblr like when I first started. And because it's got that anonymous comments that people can do. Yeah. I did get a few nasty comments, and I was it kind of enraged me at the time. It was like, how dare they, you know what I mean? But you realise that these are people who just do it to get attention. And for the most part now, I'll ignore them. But I don't get a lot at all. I can't say I get a lot of hate, but then on my blog I don't have the anonymous comment.
Yeah.
So it kind of deters people from commenting because it shows who they are.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still have I think I get more angry at friends who've had horrible comments.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends what mood I'm in. If I've had a crap day, and I will rage about it and rant about it on various forms of social networking. But for the most part, I think people who are happy with themselves will just laugh about it.
Yeah.
Because it's like these people are just trying to make you feel shit.
Yeah. And
if you let them feel shit, they've won. But if you can read what they say and just think, well, you don't know me, your opinions have no effect on me whatsoever, then you've won. So it's basically how you're going to deal with those things. I mean, everybody's going to have bad days.
Yeah.
And if someone like that catches you on a bad day, then you're going to take it harder than other days. But I think for the most part, plus-size bloggers kind of know they're pretty awesome and have, decided to love themselves anyway, so we'll mostly let it roll off my back.
Yeah, that's a really great point. I like that. So I noticed on your blog, you're one of the only ones that I follow that has a content warning where you have to click to access.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the pictures that you post are really, I mean, they're just so brave. Like the 3D body scan and, some of the nudity, so what about risk involved in doing this sort of work? Have you ever felt like it was a risk to post things like this?
Not really. I mean, obviously, if you've got a blog where, your contact details are on it and, your full name is on it. I mean, Lolly's not my name. That's the name I choose to blog with. Then I think you probably are putting yourself at risk. But if it's your online persona, then, and you're keeping it separate from other things. I mean, I have a personal Facebook and I have a blogging Facebook. And, I mean, people try and add themselves to my personal Facebook, but if I don't know them, then I'm not going to add them. And it's like any social, internet thing. I mean, you just are wary of who you speak to and what information you give out and stuff like that. I mean, the whole photography thing, started with Yossi from Italy. He started his Cool Beauty project, and I hadn't heard of him. I came across someone on Facebook through the blogging thing that had posted pictures from his project, and I was like, wow, these are amazing. And was like, and I'd never seen art like that.
Yeah.
So was interested and found him on Facebook and messaged him to say, well, loved your pictures, great thing you're doing, keep it up, basically. And then he messaged me saying he was going to be in England in a few weeks' time, and would I pose for him? And I was a bit like, would I do that?
Yeah.
And had to think about it, and was like, well, I love all the pictures he's done. And, I mean, they inspired me.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I want to do that for someone else? And I mean, one of the things that made me, learn to love my body and was taking pictures of myself naked and looking at them, because nobody likes to see themselves naked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I'd seen a picture. I think my dad had this little video camera thing in the kitchen that was on the table. And it was for CCTV type of thing. And I walked past it and I saw my bum in jeans on the screen, and I was like, is that my bum?
Oh my God.
I had no concept that that's what my bum looked like. Because you never see it from that angle.
Right, you're always facing the other way. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, that's what my bum looks like. And I thought, well, what else? What do I look like from other angles? I have no idea. What you think you see in your mind and what your body actually looks like are completely different. So that's when I decided, right, well, I'm going to take pictures of myself, flattering, unflattering, every angle possible, to see what I actually look like. Because the fear of not knowing is worse than what the actual thing is. And that's in anything.
Yeah.
I mean, fear is usually the unknown. So I did that. And I mean, obviously it's not easy to look at pictures of yourself and think, oh, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But the more you see pictures of yourself, you desensitize yourself to your own body.
Interesting.
And I think the same goes for fat advertising. People never see fat people in advertisements unless it's to ridicule them or berate them in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people seeing fat people on TV, in movies, in like everything, it will desensitize them to it. It's just the shock of not having seen it before. It's like it's not the normal, even though there's fat people everywhere.
Right.
We see them every day.
Right.
We just don't see them on TV and in movies and magazines, where everything's perfect.
Yeah. Quote unquote perfect. Yeah.
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 So that's how I came to like my body. So I was already kind of on that journey of liking my body when he offered to do that. And I thought, well, I know what I look like naked now.
Yeah.
It's not like it's going to shock me into, oh my God, I look like that. You know what I mean? So I was like, well, yeah, actually, I will do it. And it was terrifying up until I did it. But my boyfriend came along, and I mean, it took like 2 hours or something. Mm-hmm. They gave me a little Polaroid of what he'd done. Mm-hmm. And just seeing the picture there and then was just like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have liked it even if it hadn't been me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So seeing other fat women in photos like that, and it was, I mean, the photos all I saw before of fat women had all been porn pictures, basically. I think April Flores was like the first fat porn person I'd ever seen. And I just thought, wow, look at her. Like, she is hot and fat. And I think a lot of like fat nakedness is like classed as porn and can be so in a negative way, but it's not all meant that way. I mean, porn is porn, art is art. And I mean, those pictures were on Tumblr and reblogged I don't know how many times, but there were people that reblogged it for porn reasons, thinking it was porn. And it's clearly not porn, but people will take it how they want to take it.
Yeah.
But I mean, since that, there has been other. I don't know if you saw the group shot one that we did. There was like 4 of us.
No, I don't think so.
There's Katie Soze, a photographer, who did a group shot of four fat people. 3 of, well, they're all people I know and are friends with. And those got a lot of attention on Tumblr. And I think it's seeing 4 fat people who have completely different bodies together as well. And I think the negative comment that we got was that there wasn't a person of colour, which actually there was, because one of the girls is half Black African American, so it kind of made it invalid what she said. Which I don't know why she couldn't tell that from her bum, because she has a massive ass, a glorious ass.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, I've done a few photo shoots for people, mostly Katie Soze. I've worked with her like 3 times, I think. And she's like the skinniest person you'll ever meet. But we've spoken before about like body issues, and she's body positive just from the fact that she knows lots of models who are super skinny and hate themselves.
Yeah.
And yet here's these fat people that actually like themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not about what size you are. It's, can you like yourself? That's what, if everybody liked themselves, there wouldn't be a problem, because no one would hate anyone else. But people who hate themselves pick on other people to mask the hate of themselves.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this segues into, I want to come back to the corporate sponsorship because I know that you wear things that are given. Is that?
Yeah, I get gifted things.
Gifted, yeah. But before that, it sounds like we're talking about the first question in the last section. Do you consider yourself an activist?
I kind of do. I mean, because I class myself as rad fat,
mm-hmm.
you kind of have to be. It kind of goes along hand in hand with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm all for body positivity, and that's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put anyone else down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know a lot of people in the blogging community that say they're body positive and aren't.
Yeah.
Like, behind other people's backs, they'll talk about other people.
Yeah.
In a negative way, and it's like, well, if you're body positive, then you have to be body positive with everybody,
mm-hmm.
not just the fat people.
Mm-hmm.
It is an all-encompassing thing.
Yeah.
Be positive about everyone, not just this little group. And I mean, I'm part of like the Yorkshire Rad Fat Collective, which is a group on Facebook which put on plus size swaps, clothes swaps, and they're putting on a Biggie Boogie prom, which started out just for fat people, but then they realised that not just fat people might have had negative experiences with proms. I mean, not that we have proms in this country, it's more of an American thing, but just being excluded from something. Yeah. So it basically became a thing for everybody, but with the attention being on maybe if you were queer or trans or mm-hmm. anything like that and just didn't feel comfortable going to something like that.
Yeah.
That this is something that you are welcome to come to and encouraged to come to.
Yeah.
But I think that's what's good about the group of people that I've met through blogging, is that there is a lot of bi people, lesbian people, gay people, and they're open to other things. They're not closed off in the fact that it's just about fat. It's about equality for everybody.
Yeah.
And fat is just one of the things that gets picked on. But really, we're a minority, but there is a lot of other minorities.
Mm-hmm.
And we just need to stop all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm quite happy that I got into blogging just for that fact that I've met so many amazing people
mm-hmm.
that are open-minded. Because when you don't have that outside interaction with people from all over, then if you're just stuck with the people that you know and are in your group, then you're not getting to experience all that stuff.
Yeah.
You are just closed off to the ideas of this group of people who have maybe all experienced the same things
mm-hmm.
and never been outside of that bubble.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go outside of your comfort zones to other areas and meet new people who have experienced other things, I think that's when you learn more and grow.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I am an activist, but not that I'll go out and like with a sign in the street or anything. But well, maybe I might in the future. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, I'm happy being an activist in my group of friends.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you for answering that question. Okay. Well, let's go back and talk about clothes. So the questions that I have left that are about clothes are, so we talked about how you pick out things, but questions like, what do your clothes say about you? Or do you have a favorite clothing post? And then talking about corporate sponsorship.
Okay. clothing, like I say, because there's more selection now, it's easier to find things that I like. And I tend to like more retro girly things, I think, because when I couldn't find clothes, I basically lived in jeans and t-shirt. And that was basically my uniform every day. And I had dresses in my wardrobe that were for special occasions and never got worn. And things, I had so many clothes that I bought that were too small to eventually get into when I lost some weight and never did.
Oh, yeah.
That I decided to start buying things that I wanted to wear and would wear and that fit me. Which I think was the major change in my wardrobe. Because I could actually buy things that I liked and not just because it fit me. Which I think is the main problem for fat people, was that they couldn't find things that fit them. You were basically, if you found something that fit you, you would buy 3 of it because you might not find anything again for a year. So I had things, like I had a top that I had in 3 different colours, which I wore every day for about 2 years, because that's all I could find that fit me.
Yep. Multiples.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you find things that you like, and I think I kind of have a problem now if I buy too much clothes, because I'm afraid that time will come again where things will not be available.
Interesting.
So I find I do buy, if I see something I like, I have to buy it because I might never see it again. And especially because I like more retro things and like bold prints, like, because fashion changes. That might not be in fashion next season, so then you won't be able to get it. So I do tend to buy things I like when I see them, if I can afford them, or like stock websites until things go on sale.
Yes. I do the same thing. I have like 8 things in my Old Navy cart, and I check it to see if they're on sale yet. Hurry up, go on sale.
I think the problem now is that not that there's a lot of plus size brands anyway, but in your standard brands that do plus size sections that were available in shops now tend to be disappearing from the high street. I would say most high streets, if you go shopping in your plus size, you won't find anything to fit you. You have to go to like the malls where rent is cheaper and plus size shops can be there, or they've got the room to stock plus size sections. I know like the mall that's near me has 2 plus size shops, and one plus size shop and 2 other shops that stock plus size sections. So there's not a great deal of choice. So mostly I do shop online, which is annoying because postage prices and things like that. Especially because sizes are completely different.
Exactly.
In different fabrics. So you usually have to send half the things back that you get. But I think, like companies like Simply Be and Yours Clothing tend to be opening shops now rather than being online shops. Which is interesting because they obviously see that there's potential in the plus size market to be opening stores for that. So that's encouraging that hopefully other places will follow. But mostly it's online stuff, unless I've like been somewhere else and been able to try something on that I like and it's expensive, and then I wait and order it online when it's cheaper. Like ASOS and things are good because it's free postage and free returns. But their sizing tends to be crazy, so you have to like order like 3 different sizes to try things on and then send back. But I think all in all, fashion, it has come along. Evans is an interesting one because it's now, it was very mumsy for a long time. And And then they got the Best Ditto collection, which kind of shook it all up and everybody loved. And to be honest, I don't know why they've not tried to carry on that kind of line. That youthful line. Instead, they've gone for getting different designers in to do things for them. Like the Clement Treviro, which this is Clement Treviro, which is, again, they're not a plus size designer. They design catwalk stuff, so it's for skinny people.
Yeah.
Yet they've designed a range for Evans, which I loved. But their sizing and their materials maybe weren't suited as well for plus size people. Like I know one of their dresses split up the back on me and about 3 other people I know, because it just wasn't a material that stretched with the body or had any give at all.
Yeah.
And obviously when fat people sit
Interesting.
down, their body shape changes.
Right.
So that really didn't work, and because fat people as well, I think we need like different lengths of things, and we need different fits of things. Because a skinny person, up and down body, yeah, they might be size 12 or whatever, but some people have bigger hips and some people have bigger boobs. Yeah, they do the size 12 that is for every size 12 out there.
Yeah.
But when it's a size 20 or 24, that is going to be completely different on every size 24. And the amount of difference in that size for someone's boobs and hips is massive.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I mean, I think Simply Be started a range. It's not a big range, but they did start a range for bigger busts and smaller busts. So you could get the same dress with like B cup, like to a B cup or to a D cup or to a J cup.
That makes so much sense.
Really good, because the same dress will fit all these different size boobs.
Yeah.
And I think they've started doing lengths as well in dresses. You can get like 3 different lengths. Because obviously most thingers are made to fit 6 foot tall people.
Right.
So if I buy something like that being 5'3", it's down to my ankles.
Yeah.
So it's good having that choice, but I think more brands need to do stuff like that. They need to realise that we are all different. And just having that choice. I mean, not just that little bit of choice. If they advertise it well enough and people know they can get that, they will get the custom.
Yes.
Because fat people have money that they want to spend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like everybody else.
Yeah. Fat people are people too.
Yeah.
So, tell me about corporate sponsorship.
Well, seeing other people blogging and getting things to review, I thought, why can't I do that? So nobody really approached me to do anything. I kind of took the initiative and contacted people saying, look, I have this blog, here's the link. Would you like to give me something to review? And people have been really good in giving me stuff. So I say it's gifted. Because I don't have to pay for it, and I get to keep it.
You do get to keep it.
And I've had a few things. I mean, the good thing is that you can usually pick what you want to review, because obviously there's no point getting something that you would never buy or never wear.
Right.
It's got to be something that you like and would spend money on. So I think for me, it's made me get nicer dresses than I probably would buy.
Cool. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I think £60 to spend on a dress is a lot of money.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
£30 is more my price range. I would only spend £60 on something if it was a special occasion thing.
Yeah.
That I needed something fancy. So I tend to go for the more fancy options. Knowing that I wouldn't normally buy that. So it gives me the chance to have that fancy moment, even if I'm not going anywhere. But I mean, like I said, because I wear more dresses and things now and have a good wardrobe of stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't keep things for special occasions. There are still dresses that are too fancy for every day, but will still get worn on a weekend or something like that. But I think that's the problem you have when you buy clothes for every day and don't keep for special occasions, is that when you do have a special occasion, it's really hard to find something fancy enough. Because every day you feel fab.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's such a terrible life, huh?
I know.
Yeah, that's
Personal
awesome.
problems.
Yeah, that's awesome. But that's a really good point. Like, it's only fancy because you don't wear it all the time. Yeah. And then if you wear it more often, then you just have to get something new for the fancy occasion. Well, that's really interesting about the gifting and that you get to pick. Have you ever done a negative review of something?
No, I mean, I did get a dress recently that I wore and I really liked it. And then after I took it off, there was a hole in it, and I thought, I had to look at it and think, now, did that hole appear because I wore it, or was that hole there before and I just never noticed? And I think it was that it was there and I never noticed, because it was like under the armpit.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like a lacy dress, and I thought, if that had been the hips, I would have said it's because I've worn it and I've rubbed it against something. But it didn't look like it had been pulled, it just looked like it hadn't been stitched in. And I thought, well, if that hadn't been there, I would have still loved the dress either way and given it a good review. So I did review it and gave it a good review and contacted the company and said, look, it does have a hole, would I be able to get another one? And the other one I've had has been fine. So,
fine. Yeah.
So that's fine. But I mean, if I got something that I thought was pretty shoddy, I would return it. I would send them an email and go, look, I ordered this to review, but I don't think it's up to scratch. Could I pick something else, maybe?
That makes sense.
I wouldn't review it and give it a bad review, because I think if I did that, I mean, obviously it's stopping people from buying it, but I think most places have review bits on their blogs and on their websites anyway. So if you buy it, you review it.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are lots of things with bad reviews that I've bought, and they're fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if someone buys something and it doesn't fit them right, then they give it a bad review, which I think is stupid, because if you didn't buy the right size to start with, then it's not going to fit you right. I mean, like, I know if I buy a size 24 dress in a stretchy material, it'll probably be okay. But if I buy one in a non-stretchy material, it will not fit. So I have to buy a bigger size in non-stretchy material. But I'm not going to review something bad on a website because it didn't fit me. Because I know I need to get a bigger size. Yeah. But I mean, when you read reviews on websites, honestly, it's crazy what people write.
Oh, I know. Well, I think I have 2 questions left. One is, do you have a favorite outfit that you've posted?
Yeah, I think I've posted it twice. Like, I've done the same dress twice, because I think I see a lot of blogs where people just do an outfit once and then get rid of it, and it's like, well, did you buy that just to have a post?
Right.
To do, or did you buy it because you actually liked it? And I buy things because I like them. And I order things for gifting because I like them and want to wear them.
So you should.
So I try and do things more than once. So there is one I got, which is a poppy dress. I think it's from Simply Be, which I've blogged twice. I think I wore it at Christmas, and I wore it a few months before that. I think I got it when I was pregnant, so I couldn't actually wear it because I was too big to fit in it at the time. And I thought, I'll just keep it until the baby's born, and then it'll fit. And then I was so ill with pregnancy that I lost so much weight that it was too big. But I still wore it because I loved it. And now I've put a bit more weight back on, and I wore it for Christmas, and it was good. So, but I mean, that's something that I will wear again and again and again. But again, it's one of my, I wouldn't say it's too fancy to wear every day. I just think it's so nice that I don't want to wreck it by wearing it all the time.
Yeah, I understand. It's a precious.
Yeah.
So what is it about the dress that you love that really makes it special?
I think the print of it, it's very Mad Men. Like, there's big poppies on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good material. It's like a thick cotton, but with stretch material.
Mm-hmm.
So it's comfortable. The shape of it's really good. And it's got like a flary out from under the bust. So like you can wear like a petticoat underneath it to like make it really fancy. And I think it's just, it was like, when I saw it, I was just like, wow, that's like my ideal dress. Like that's the dress I'd been looking for forever and could never get in my size.
Yeah.
And I just thought, wow, and it was really expensive, and I did stock it for ages. And so other sizes were going out of stock, and it was like 2 left, and I was like, I've got to buy it, or I'm going to regret it forever.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I bought it, I was like, and I still can't even wear it because I'm too big.
Oh, that's awesome. That's funny.
Yeah. And then when I lost weight and it was too big, I was like, oh, it's too big, but I'm still wearing it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So I think the things that you've always wanted and couldn't get because of your size are the more precious things. Like I love anything with polka dots and stripes. Mm-hmm. And that's things that stripes definitely you're told are not flattering, so do not wear them if you're overweight. Mm-hmm. So I think when I first learned that I actually liked my body and was happy in whatever I wore, that was the thing that I got drawn to the most. Mm-hmm. It was like, how many stripes can I wear and how obnoxious can I look and feel fab?
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
But then I know a blogger who is a lot younger than me. I mean, I think she's like 25. And she started blogging because she was unhappy with her size, but saw all these amazing women and thought, wow, they're so happy. How can I get that happy? Mm-hmm. And so she started blogging, and she was basically a jeans wearer as well, and started buying all the fancy clothes, the dresses, the blouses, the skirts, everything. And recently she's discovered that she loves all the clothes she has, but she's tending to go back to jeans. And it's not because there's nothing available to her. Mm-hmm. She just feels more comfortable in jeans. And she doesn't have to dress up every day to feel fab now because she already likes herself.
Yeah.
That the clothes don't really matter now.
Yeah.
Which I thought was amazing. And she did get a lot of flack for it from people. Mm-hmm. That she'd stopped blogging about clothes. And it was like, well, because the clothes weren't why she started blogging. She started blogging because she wanted the confidence. And she's got confidence now. Exactly. So when I blog about clothes, because I like the clothes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I mean, clothes can make people feel good. That's why people buy things for special occasions, because they want to feel good in that outfit. But if you feel good anyway in whatever you're wearing, if you're wearing jeans or joggers and a t-shirt and you still feel fab, then awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that segues into my last question. What advice do you have for other fat women?
I think the only advice I can give is to try and love yourself. I mean, if you love yourself, then no matter what anyone else says, anyone else thinks, then it's not going to matter. It's not going to affect how you feel. Mm-hmm. And it's a hard thing to do. I mean, it took me about a year to actually think, I do like myself. Mm-hmm. I mean, I went through every diet thing possible when I was younger. Like every diet I was on, took tablets, to basically starving myself, to everything. But I think a lot of it is to do with what you're brought up with. I mean, my mum was the bigger of her sisters. She wasn't fat, she was just bigger. Mm-hmm. And even now, she's like a size 12.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not an ounce
Yeah.
of fat on her. She's got thick thighs, and she thinks she has a massive arse. But obviously she's never seen her arse, because it's not massive.
Yeah.
But she's always had this complex that she's big. So when I was growing up, I was basically everything she didn't want to have in a daughter. So she did everything in her power to try and help me lose weight, which didn't work, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, even now, being happy with the size I am, and trying to explain it to her, I don't know how many times. Mm-hmm. I think the last conversation I had with her was, she said, "Oh, you need to lose weight," and I was like, "But why?" She's like, "Because you can't be happy at that size." I was like, "But I am happy."
Yeah.
She's like, "But you can't be." And I was like, "Why can I not be happy at this size? What is stopping me being happy?" Because she could never see herself being happy at my size. Yeah. Which is her issue, not mine.
Exactly. And some people never are able to understand the distinction. Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, my dad even tried to bribe me to get a gastric band operation.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, "I don't want it." And he's like, "But why?" And I'm like, I don't need to lose weight. I don't want to lose weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he just can't understand it at all. And I mean, even after having the baby, I mean, I had to get a cesarean, and just getting that cup, because I'm diabetic, type 2, I heal really slowly. So it took me 6 months to heal.
Oh, wow.
And it was infected so bad.
Oh, no.
And just would not close. And I recently went to the doctors and saw the nurse that I kept going back to get dressings changed and everything. And she was like, "Oh, how is it?" And I was like, "Oh, it finally healed just before Christmas." She was like, "Oh, I've never seen anything like it. It was horrendous."
Oh, wow.
And that's from a nurse. And I was like, and that was from an operation I had to get done. Why am I going to put myself through an operation I don't need?
Exactly.
To get something that isn't going to make my life any better.
Yeah. I saw
I'm happy now, so why do I need to be skinny to enjoy that?
I saw that you have the hashtag F Your Health Standards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that tied into this?
Kinda. I mean, it's I kind of class it for everything, like mental health as well.
Yes.
I just think with the F Your Beauty Standards thing, I thought, well, not everybody can think of themselves as beautiful.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you think you're beautiful, that's brilliant. Awesome. You've
good for you.
Crossed a hurdle that some people will never cross.
Yeah.
But I think the health card gets thrown in fat people's face so much. And there's just no proof to any of it. I mean, you can go to the doctors with a sore foot and they'll say it's because you're fat. You can go to doctors. But if you're not fat and you go to the doctors with a sore foot and you smoke, they'll say it's because you smoke.
Yes.
And it's just like, it has no bearing on anything. And you can't tell somebody's health from looking at them.
Yep.
I mean, you could be size 24 or size 12. And if that size 24 person can run a marathon, the size 12 can't because they smoke or whatever, then your argument is invalid. And health has nothing, you can't tell health from looking at someone. So I think it all started with that. I was just like, well, people use it so much they use it and they think they class it as being caring. It's like, I'm only saying it for your good. And it's like, well, no, you're not, because you've got no idea. And I just couldn't, like, one day I just had enough of what someone had said to someone else, and I was like, right, that's it, I'm starting the hashtag.
I loved it. When I saw it, I'm like, yep, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, the two get conflated too often.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else? Those are all the questions I have. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about that I haven't?
I don't think so. I think I've covered everything. I mean, the only advice I would give to people about loving themselves, I mean, it worked for me. I'm not saying that it would work for everyone, is taking photos of yourself. I did give that advice to a friend recently, who's not really in the same situation as me. As like, she was skinny and was happy with herself, and then put on weight, and really doesn't like it. But she also had a lot of issues that her ex-boyfriend basically slagged her off constantly for putting on weight. So she had that baggage as well. And I was like, well, she's like, if I could like myself, I know I would be able to lose weight. And I was like, but how are you going to get to like yourself?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And I was like, well, this is what I did. And she's like, oh. And then she texted me last week and was like, I did that. She's like, and I do think it's helping.
Yeah.
Because she said, like, she hated seeing photos of herself that other people had taken.
Yes.
Because she says, I'll take photos on my phone of me to, like, put on Instagram and things, she says, and I'll delete them because you can see my chin. She's like, you're sitting across from me just now, she's like, and you can see my chin, and that is bothering me. And I'm like, yeah, but what you think your chin looks like and what it actually looks like are completely different. I says, if you take a photo from down here, your chin's going to look massive. If you take a photo from up here, it's going to look tiny.
Yep.
I was like, you need to know what it looks like from all the angles.
Yeah.
To get an idea of what it actually looks like. I was like, it's not as bad as you think it is.
Yeah.
So I think that advice is helping her. She says, because when she was skinny, she used to like taking photos of herself naked for her boyfriend. She says, and now she doesn't even like getting undressed in front of her new boyfriend. And I was like, well, and it's not because anything he said, he loves her at any size. She says, but I can't get over, how can he like me at this size? And I was like, but why can he not? It's like, what reason does he have to say that he likes you at that size and be lying? I was like, that's in your head. That's your issue. I was like, you need to sort that. That's nothing to do with him. And she's like, yeah, no. So, I mean, my boyfriend, he doesn't care what size I am. I could be any size and he'd still love me, whatever. And he's not, but yeah, I class him as skinny because he's small. Like, he's not fat in any way. He has a little belly. Which when his belly gets bigger, he stresses out that he's put on weight and wants to lose it. But it's funny that he sees himself as fat, but he doesn't see me as fat.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't like fat on himself, but he's quite happy with me being fat and doesn't bother him at all.
Yeah.
And we're all self-absorbed. I mean, it's all how we see each other and see ourselves. And if you don't like what you see in the mirror, it is hard to believe that someone else is going to like that. And I think confidence is the most sexy thing there is.
Yeah.
If you're confident in your body and in yourself, doesn't matter what size you're, people are going to see it.
Yeah.
And want it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I love the advice. Take pictures. And your friend's story sounds a lot like my own. And it's the moment for me that's so scary is when I see a picture of myself that I didn't take and I freak out. And then I realize, but I move around in the world every day and people see me.
Yeah.
I can't control that at all. I can delete this picture or untag myself, but who I am in the real world to the people who see me every day, I can only see what I see in my head when I think of myself. And it's such a moment of being disoriented, But I love that idea. Take all the pictures and actually see who you are. And
I mean, I think even for some fat bloggers, seeing pictures of themselves sitting is an issue. Because your belly looks even bigger when you're sitting down.
Yeah.
Like, everything becomes round, kind of.
Yeah.
And I think it was last year, sometime last year, someone had mentioned about it, like how they hated it. So there was like a group of bloggers decided, right, let's all take pictures of ourselves sitting. And it's because this whole unflattering thing.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't wear things to be flattering. Wear things because you want to wear them. And flattering or unflattering, it doesn't matter. If you're happy wearing it, then what does it matter? And sitting in it, standing in it, or whatever, why should that make any difference to why you would wear something?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wear something because it's comfortable to sit in, to stand in, to walk in.
Mm-hmm.
That's more my concern with clothes, is if it's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm wearing a corset, I wouldn't be able to sit. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wouldn't choose to wear a corset very often.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the whole sitting thing, your body does completely change when you sit and you're really big. Like that 3D scan thing, that was a really interesting thing because, I mean, even though I'd seen photos of myself all the way down, seeing it in like that grey format where there is no contrast, like in colour and things, you're just basically a shape. And I just thought, wow, I wish everybody could do that and see themselves.
Yeah.
And like realise like in proportion
yeah.
to the rest of you how big things are.
Yeah.
Because when you look in a mirror, you focus on your bad bits. You're going to look at a certain area. I mean, when I try clothes on, I don't look at myself in the mirror. I take a photo and look at the photo. Because when you look at yourself in a mirror, you're only seeing from your eye height. And when you take a photo from up here at yourself, it's completely different from here and down below. So every photo I take is from like the middle. Because if any photographer that takes photos from there. Because that gives you like the equal distance from the top to the middle, from the bottom to the middle, basically. So you're getting a better perspective of the whole rather than a bird's eye view or a ground view of something.
Yeah.
Because there's like some bloggers that I've met in person who's like, well, that chatter monkey girl, her husband is like 6 foot something or other and takes her photos and she's 4 foot something. So his middle and her middle are very far off.
Right.
So all her photos look like they're taken from up here.
Yeah.
And all you see of her is boob, because she has got big boob. But when you see it in person, she's not all boob, because that's just from that perspective.
Yeah.
So all the photos she sees of herself, she's all boob. But when she looks in a mirror, she's seeing something completely different from what he sees in his photos. So it's all perspective as well. I mean, but if you can see yourself from all these different angles, then when you do see it, it's not a shock. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, that's me from that height, that's me from that height, that's me from that height.
Yeah.
But all encompassing, you're all of these things.
Yeah.
To everybody. Like, the world sees you from all these different angles, and you are all these different shapes. But, again, if you're happy with that, with the body that you've got, then it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
Yeah.
You can get on with your life and do what you want to do and not have to worry about these things.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you take pictures from the middle?
I take them, I normally have them, like for my blog post, I sit it on the chair, the arm of the chair, and stand far back. So it is about my middle. So yeah, that's where I tend to take most of my photos from. But when my boyfriend takes them, he takes them from anywhere.
Yeah. I know the hardest part about posting is if you live alone, like, my dog won't take the picture of me.
No, I know. I know, when I discovered you could get a timer for your iPhone, I was like, what?
Yeah, like, this changes everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because that's the thing as well. If you're taking photos and you can only take it from arm length away, that's a completely different perspective.
Yes. But it's all the same person. It's still you. And it's hard to reconcile sometimes. Well, I love everything you've said. I wish you could have seen me in the video because I've been nodding and smiling the whole time. This was really great. I really appreciate you taking the time.
That's
okay. And the next steps with this, I plan to transcribe and like write out everything, or have someone write it out for me if I can afford it, because that could take hours and hours and hours and
Yeah.
But after I do that,
there's an app for that.
There has to be, right? Yeah, there's an app for everything. But after that, if you're interested, I'd love to share it with you so you can see how, and keep you as involved in the process as you're interested in being involved, to kind of see how I portray you and what you're saying and making sure that it's true to what you mean.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the thing when you do things about bodies and people and identity, is there's so much risk, you know, that I don't want to say anything or rephrase anything in a way that gets away from the original intent. So, yeah, without putting any burden on you for participating beyond this, I'll definitely keep you posted and share things with you as they become available, with the option of like editing out and changing.
Yeah. That's all good.
Cool.
If you want to contact a few people, I'll email you links to people.
That would be excellent. I took some notes of people that you mentioned during this. Yeah. But yeah, that would be fantastic.
And I could send you a link to the dress that's my favourite dress.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, I'll do that.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay. Well, good luck.
Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon probably.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, Lolly.
Bye.
Bye.